Ashwani Bhatia joins us now. It gives me great pleasure to bring him on board to understand that where he feels the economy is headed. Mr. Bhatia, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Hope everything is fine, safe with your family and with your loved ones. Mr. Bhatia, what is your understanding of the economy and the business, the impact of second wave? The first wave was brutal on banks. The first wave was brutal on the economy. Given that you have data, understanding, and real-time information of the impact on the economy, so far, how big has been the collateral damage?
So you're absolutely on the dot. So it's kind of a repeat of what we had last year, except for the fact that the spike in the infection curve has been, if I may use the word, parabolic. So this wasn't expected, but now we are facing it. It's hitting us on the face. So we had the situation last year. So just to tell you of the numbers, last year around this time, the lockdown came in the last week of March. This time it's coming in the third week of April in different locations. So we saw an increase in deposits initially. And then in the second half, the credit pickup happened. Housing loans took off. Governments gave discounts. They reduced the stamp duty. Interest rates are already at a record low. Demand was there and people had saved a lot. They spent a lot also. So as far as the bank go, till the first week of April, we have seen the installments coming in. So to that extent, we haven't seen any deterioration in the numbers. Now, last year, we also gave options to customers, especially on the retail side, that look, they can postpone their installments, so on and so forth. But all the installments came and we did not see any stress in particular over there. So going forward, I would only hope and pray that the same thing repeats in this financial year also. So far, it is holding up. We hope that this lasts not more than a quarter and the flattening of the curve again starts happening soon. The fact that the government announced vaccination for all or above 18 from 1st of May is welcome. Money has gone into Bharat and it has gone into Serum Institute. So some kind of supplier's credit has happened there. So from our side, you can only be hopeful. It's too early to take any call, very frankly, Nikunj.
Mr. Bhatia, let's talk about the matrix currently, or the current, state of economy. The top end of the curve, which is the corporates, they are in a much better spot because a lot of balance sheet cleanup has happened, and also interest rates are low, and commodity inflation has kicked in. But the problem really is at the lower end, which is that bottom of the pyramid, the lower strata, and the MFSI space, where job losses have happened, migrant labor issues are going to be challenging. Do you see this time the second wave will impact this curve or this end of the society and borrowing cycle even hard, because the sheer numbers are so big that the impact is going to be very hard felt?
Quite possible, but again, very difficult to give a definite direction. But if more lockdowns are announced, just like last time, there was loss of life and livelihood. This may repeat this year also, but too early to take a call on the numbers or on the delinquencies and so on and so forth. So initial estimates or what we are seeing is that the lockdown is not as severe as it was last year, where there was no traffic on the roads, there was no toll collection, the aircraft were not running, the trains were not permitted to run, and so on and so forth. This time, at least, it's been more measured, it's been more calibrated. So the collapse of demand that happened last time may not be as strong this time around. Digital may continue to see an uptick. Deliveries are happening. So to that extent, the services sector that was really impacted may not may not be that bad, very frankly. And it's just a wait and a watch kind of a situation. And do hope that within the next 1 month, things improve from here on.
Mr. Bhatia, last time the Reserve Bank of India came out with moratorium to help the borrowers. Also, government came out with credit guarantee schemes which enabled and which gave a lot of help to the entire SME and the MSME sector. Do you think a similar scheme should be considered again?
So I think the Jugalbandi that you saw last year will continue into this year also. So let's just go back to what the governor said in his last policy statement, and he actually used the word whatever it takes. And there are plenty of measures that RBI can always take. And the fact that he's announced things like the government securities acquisition program, the fact that he said OMOs would be in addition to this, he'll be accommodative. All those things, I would think that RBI will be in readiness to provide all support to the financial sector, to the industry, and to the economy.
There is some optimism, Mr. Bhatia, which certainly came in last couple of months, where corporates are now talking about borrowing more. Capex has been talked about. Large corporate houses are now talking about rebuilding large capacities because they are optimistic about where the economy and where things are headed. Do you see that the second wave, in a sense, could challenge that optimism?
So actually, 3 months in the life of an economy doesn't really make a difference. At the most, it can be postponed by 3 months to 6 months. The commodities, as you said, the cycle still looks pretty strong, pretty robust. A blip or a pause of 3 months should not affect the long-term story of our economy.
Mr. Bhatia, and draw your attention to a business which is very close to your heart, SBI Mutual Funds. Birla AMC has already filed for a IPO. There is HDFC Life, there is Nippon, there is Birla. When will SBI AMC see light of the day? Within this financial year? Next financial year?
So I would think that within a year, we should also be done with the process. So SBI Mutual Fund will definitely be the next subsidiary of the State Bank Group to be listed. So maybe around the first quarter of the next financial year.
Digital business, which is the business, has reached a critical mass, both in terms of size and the fact that it's now nearing its break even. And the good thing here is that while a lot of other fintech firms on the which are in the payment business are still losing, in a sense, is not far away from its break even. When are you planning to monetize it?
We would know. The question of monetizing and all is maybe some time away, or we are not even thinking about it. It still needs to gain critical mass. So, I mean, just like you talked about the mutual fund business, we think that it will actually grow very fast this year also. We've been having a CAGR growth of about 35% there. We are in excess of 5 lakh crores. Plus the PMS that we do, that's another 7 or 8 lakh crores or so. So the total business that is managed there is about 13 lakh crores. So it's scaled up very well. The profitability numbers are also likely to be decent for the previous financial year. And the digital bit, I think we let it scale up a little more. And obviously, on the digital side, there are so many changes happening every other month. A lot of scope exists over there.
State Bank of India is the only large bank which did not raise capital even at the peak of the pandemic news. Now that things are looking up, you were in a capital preservation mode, now growth capital, now growth is back. Do you have enough and sufficient capital for this year? Because you had enough capital when you were not lending, but now if you are of the view that the credit offtake will pick up, do you have necessary capital buffer to participate in the growth cycle?
So we are at the moment very comfortable. You will see our numbers soon within the next 1 month. We think that at current growth of credit, our capital requirements are met by our own internal reserve and profits that we have. I think as time comes, we will have a look at equity raising. But in the next 6 to 7 months, I don't think we'll be coming to the market. We are quite well and adequately capitalized at the moment.
Right. Now, Citi India has already gone on record and has said that they want to monetize the value of the consumer businesses, credit card business, wealth management businesses. Are there any businesses which excite you from there?
Certainly. So maybe not the whole piece, but if it's available in segments, possibly we may look at some part of it.
Can you be slightly more specific that which end of the business which excites you? Because you have a large presence in the credit card business. You have a large AMC and asset management business, including wealth management. So where are you excited for an inorganic acquisition, given that you're number 1, number 2, number 3 in all the businesses already?
So there are plenty of things. Number 1, of course, is their retail franchise itself. The kind of customer clientele they have, that is interesting. Credit cards is one, and even their housing portfolio. So we'll examine it once the opportunity is shown to us.
My last question is more like a compliment, and it's on a digital business that how smoothly you've managed to strengthen that business. A lot of other banks are facing breakdown issues, including some of the best private sector banks. But State Bank of India has done a great deal of technology and advancement. How did you adopt that? Because normally the reputation with PSUs is that they are very slow in adopting to technology advancement.
When SBI Mutual Fund became number 1 in the market, I remember somebody asking me, how could you beat the private sector players? And I said, why not? I mean, where do we lack on human resources, on capability, and reach? So I guess I would still give the same answer here also. So SBI is one organization that has reinvented itself again and again. We have shown direction everywhere. So if you go back to the 60s and 70s, it would have been SSI, small scale industry, or agriculture, MSME sector, wherever. And I would think that we would continue to be thought leaders. We would provide support in whatever form, and we will use the best in-house talent to improve our capabilities, our products, and our technology.
All right, Mr. Bhatia, I really appreciate your time. So glad you could join us with your valuable thoughts, and stay safe, sir.